Hello, I am Zienne Miles S. Sabaricos, a grade 6 student, and today we will be learning about how to multiply polynomials. Now let's get straight to it. This is my explanation on multiplying polynomials. So, multiplying polynomials by Zienne Miles Z. S. Sabaricos. Multiplying polynomials, monomial to a monomial. Here's the formula for it. Multiply ax raised to the j and bx raised to the k. So to do that, you multiply a and b, a times b, and then since they both have the same variable, so you just bring down the x, and then you add their exponents, so j plus k. Now here is our example. 2x squared times 5x. So 2 times 5 is 10. You copy the variable because they have the same variable, and you add the exponent. So 2, and if a variable has no exponent, it is understood that the exponent is 1. So 2 plus 1. So our answer is 10x cubed, or 10x raised to the 3. Here is another formula for it. Ax to the j, y to the m, and bx to the k, y to the n. So once again, we do a times b, and then you bring down the x, and then the exponent of the x. So j plus k once again. Then you bring down the y, then m plus n. Here's an example for this formula. So 2x squared y times 3xy. So 2 times 3 is 6. You bring the x, because they're the same, then 2 plus 1. And then y, you bring down y, and it's 1 plus 1, because once again, it is understood that if there's no exponent, the exponent is 1. So 6x, 2 plus 1 is 3. Y, bring down the y, and then 1 plus 1 is 2. Alright, now that we're done with the monomial to monomial, let us move on to multiplying polynomials, monomial to binomial. So here is the formula. If multiply ax to the j and bx to the k plus cy to the m. So first we do ax to the j times bx to the k plus ax to the j times cy to the m. You distribute the ax to the j to in the terms, each term. So it's a times b x j plus k, because we copy the variable and we add the exponents, plus a times c, bring down the x, and you copy its exponent because we can't add the exponents of x and y because they are not the same. So you just bring down x to the j and y to the m. For example, 2x squared times 3x cubed plus y. So 2 times 3 is 6. And just like with the exponent, if a variable has no numerical coefficient or number beside it, it's understood that it is 1. There's an imaginary 1 there. So 2 times 3 is 6, times 1 is still 6. So you put 6. You copy the x, put it there, then 2 plus 3, put it up there. Now we move on to the second term. 2x squared times y. So 2 times 1, because imaginary 1 there, if variable has no numerical coefficient or number beside it. So 2 times 1 is 2. You just copy x squared and y because they're not the same, so you cannot add their variables. So 2x squared y. Then our result is 6x to the 5 plus 2x squared y. There is also another way to solve this using vertical method. So ax to the j, you multiply it to bx to the k. So it becomes a times b, copy the variable x, j plus k, plus ax to the j times cy to the m. So a times c, copy the variable x, and you copy its exponent because x and y are not the same, so you cannot add their exponents. So you can just copy x to the j, y to the m. Right. Here is an example on how to use this method. 2x squared times 3x cubed. 2 times 3 is 6. So you bring down 6, bring down the variable, and then 2 plus 3 is 5. And then we plus, now 2x squared times y. So 2 times 1 is 2. We can bring down the x and its exponent because x and y are not the same, so you can't add their variables. So our answer is 6x to the 5 plus 2x squared y. Now that we're done with monomial to binomial, we'll move on to two multi-term polynomials. So here is our formula. We multiply ax to the f plus b and cx to the g minus dx to the h plus e. So ax to the f times cx to the g minus dx to the h plus e, and plus b times cx to the g minus dx to the h plus e. Why? Because to solve this, we distribute the first two terms to each individual term by using distributive property. Here's an example. X plus 3 times 2x squared minus 5x plus 8. So we do, since x times 2x squared, x times 2x squared. So since, once again, it does not have a numerical coefficient or a number beside it, so it is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. Now, again, it is understood without an exponent, its exponent is 1. So 1 plus 2 is 3. And you bring down the variable, of course. So 2x cubed. And then minus, because the sign of the next one is x times 5x. So 1 times 5 is 5. You bring down the x, 1, the exponent is 1, plus 1 is 2. And then plus. So x times 8. 1 times 8 is 8. And then you just bring down the x because this has no variable. So our answer is that for the first part of this. Plus 3 times 2 is 6. You bring down variable and exponent because 3 does not have a variable or an exponent. So we also bring down the sign of the next part. So 3 times 5 is 15. You bring down the x once again because 3 does not have a variable. And then bring down the sign. And then 3 times 8 is 24. So our answer is 2x cubed minus 5x squared plus 8x plus 6x squared minus 15x plus 24. So we combine like terms. Negative 5x squared plus 6x squared. So since that is negative and this is positive, we subtract. So 6 minus 5 is 1. And since 6 is bigger, we copy its sign. So it's plus, and we could put 1x squared or just x squared. Because once again, it is understood without a numerical coefficient, it means that its numerical coefficient is 1. X squared. There. And then we do positive 8x minus 15x. Since, once again, it's negative and positive, we subtract. So 15 minus 8 is 7. We copy the sign of 15 because 15 is bigger. So it's negative or minus. So minus 7x. And then we just bring down 24. This is the answer. And then if we use another method, if we use the vertical method, x times 2x squared is 2x cubed, like we did earlier. We bring the sign down, and x times 5x is 5x squared. And then x times 8 is 8x, like we did earlier. Then 3 times 2x squared is 6x squared. And then we do 3 times 5, 3 times negative 5 is negative 15x, negative 15x. And then positive 3 times positive 8, so you just multiply like normal. 3 times 8 is 24. And then we add, and then we bring down the 2x cubed. Once again, positive and negative and positive, we subtract. 6 minus 5 is 1. 6 is bigger, so we copy its sign. It's x squared. Then here, positive, negative, you subtract instead of add. 15 minus 8 is 7. You copy the sign of 15 because it is bigger, and you bring down its variable. And then you bring down 24 because there's nothing above or under it. That is all for today. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you understood. And thanks, and do not stop learning.